Alright, so let's do part 2 of this awesome Arachnotour video. So last part we showed you all what's on the shelf here. You saw 47 of my 130 species, so that's probably about a third of what you've seen. Most of them are little slings and they're concentrated on this shelf and this shelf right over here. So without further ado, let's continue. Alright, so let's start off with the video by showing my Euathlus tricholentus, or commonly known as the Paraphisa parvula, which is the Chilean beautiful tarantula. Just wanted to get an idea of her temperament. Yeah, she's pretty mild-mannered. She can be very defensive if she wants to be. It's a full-grown 4.5-inch female that I got from the pet store back 3 years ago. As well as also 3 years ago, I got this lovely wild-caught female Ceratojaris marshalli, the straight-horn baboon. And, oh boy, we all know how mean she can be. Yeah, certainly very busy with all her webs. Yes, I forgot to mention these pill jars and these 2 cages are empty. This one used to belong to Zelda, and this used to belong to Nicola, the Poecilotheria that Casey now has. Alright, tea number 50. One of my favorite tarantulas is my Brachypalma smithi, the Mexican red knee. This is Scarlet. She's a 5-inch female. I got her 4 years ago, which is the very first tarantula that I bought since my absence in the tea hobby from 2001 to 2006. I just didn't buy teas around that time. And she constantly started my YouTube channel. So props go to her. She's very docile and much more calmer than Athena. Pair of Brachypalma vagans, the Mexican red rump. Well, this is Annette. She was a 1/2-inch sling that I got last year. Certainly grown considerably larger. She's approximately around 1 inch and starting to show adult colors. And this is the one that I got from E-Man. Yep. Can you imagine, from a little sling like that to a big one like this? Yeah, this is the largest female that I have, Morticia. Got from E-Man back in summer of this year. This one's fairly nervous. She can be a little defensive if she wants to be, so we'll give her a little touch on the abdomen. See how she turns? The vagans are one of the more defensive of the Brachypalmas, but in my opinion they're certainly one of the gorgeous ones too, next to the red brackies. Alright, some more black teas for you. So start on the right. This is Ebony, my Grammosola pulchra, Brazilian black. She's a 7+ inch fully mature female. She's been with me since 1997. Bought her as a 1.5-inch spiraling, almost the same size as Roy. And I raised her for a good 6 years, and that's what she became. A big behemoth. She can be very mean if she wants to be, and usually I don't like to handle her. Actually, never do. Now, this one here is Jade, my Panthabedius antinus that I got from Nicolo on Arachnoboards last year. This was the second transaction that I ever did on Arachnoboards. Fully satisfied. She's an 8+ inch female, Bolivian Steely Blue Leg. And she's pretty calm for a Panthabedius. I can actually pinch grab her. Well, not all the time, with no problems. Definitely not very aggressive at all, not defensive. Although she can be very hair flicky if she wants to be, and she likes to raise her abdomen at me. That's a sign that she really does not want to be disturbed. Yet another black tea that I have is a Cericopalma rubronitans, which is the Panama red rump. A very beautiful specimen. She is approximately 6.5 to 7 inches, mature female. Roberta is extremely nervous, and other times she's downright mean. I got this from Bill this year. I traded 4 of my Gigas slings for this one, plus $100, which I actually thought was a really great trade. Now this one here is my Poecilotheria bara that I got in late 2008, same time I got that Pete Miranda. It is one of my most favorite Pokies, so you'll see why. And there she is now. Back 3 years ago, she was a half-inch spiderling, and just look at the size of her now. She's a approximately 6.5-inch mature female. And you can see why it's my favorite specimen, just because of their black colors, especially their brown and gold hues on the legs. It's a stunning pokey. And to be honest with you, this is actually one of my most calmest pokies that I actually have. I have all the other ones in the hobby, as you'll see, and this one is arguably the best one for beginners. Although it is pricey to pay, but you'll have a lot of fun with it, that's for sure. Alright, here is Daniela, my last LP female. She was a half-inch spiderling back 2 years ago. And as you can see, she's a lovely 4.5-inch female today. Very cool. From Tarantula, Canada. Whoops. As you can see, a little bit skittish, hair flicky. Just like your Daisy. I mean my Daisy, sorry. And this is Anna, my Poecilotheria hurriana, the Ecuadorian woolly pinktoe. She's a full-grown adult female that I got last year from Tarantulas Canada's get-together. It's a very awesome species. I love it. Actually one of my largest avix. Pretty calm too. Here's Stella, Cyclosternum fasciatum, the Costa Rican tiger rump. 3-inch female. Pretty skittish. Got this one last year as a half-inch spiderling. And she's almost full grown. Yes, Curly Sue. She is the 23-year-old Brachypalma abopulosum, curly hair. This tea is kind of special to me because ever since I started collecting tarantulas back in 1994, she was one of the very first few that I ever bought. And bought her as a 6-inch female back then, and today we're in 2011, 16 years later. She's still the same size, and she's still as calm as ever. One of the favorites of mine, and this is why I usually recommend new beginners this species over a rose hair. Simply amazing. I love her. So, 3 teas here. Let's have a look at these. So this is the Brachypalma Amelia female that I bought from Tarantula Canada last year. As a 2-inch female, she molted once in my care, and she's extremely fat. Let's give her a little touch. Quite calm. Also a great alternative to a bee smithy. Now the next one here is a Pseudohoplopus species, long-haired, formerly known as Cyclosternum schmarde, the yellow-banded bird eater. Also last year I got this one as an inch, and it's approximately around 2.5 inches. Extremely mean tea. I mean, like, I gave her water yesterday. It's I have to give her again, and she went to full attack mode. And here's Alice, the freshly molted Polinobius muticus, the king baboon. Well, you know how temperamental king baboons are. She's no exception. And a pet hole. She's doing awesome. She's over there, and she buried her water dish. No surprise. Got this one from PDM 89 2 years ago. And since then, she only molted once, which we caught it on film. Alright, now for my pair of Brachypalma bomi, the Mexican fireleg. This one I got from Jimmy last year. No, this year actually. And you can see hair flicking, no exception. That's your typical nature of your bomies. I mean, yeah, strong hair flicker. And this is the older female that I got, Katana. Again, an old timer. She's been with me since 1996. Again, bought her as a full-grown female. She's probably molted at least 10 or 11 times since I owned her. And she's just awesome looking. Very skittish. I don't really handle her very much, or if at all. Because just of her skittishness and her ability to flick hair is just like little Melina. Yeah, but a very cool looking specimen, and actually this one's a dark form. Just want to show you their carapace so you can actually see what she looks like a bit. There we go. Interesting. Okay, next four. Now this one we never actually see. This one here is a Brachypalma minax, the Thailand black, Alyssa. She's over down here. Just give you an idea what her cage looks like. Yep, she's all the way down in that hole. Yeah, one of my biggest pet holes. Got this one from Tarantula, Canada. At the same time I got the S. Crass Beeps from, and she's no exception, very defensive and mean. This is another pet hole of mine I got last year. The Idiop species Black Trapdoor, Tara the Terrible. We never see it for good reason, that's why it's called the Trapdoor. It buries down, it makes a little trap for itself, and then when crickets come, open the door, and the crickets don't know what hit them. That's one of my true spiders, and this is my other one. This is Hannah, a Linothele negathyloides, the diplorid. You can see a very heavy weaver. One of the most unique looking megalomorphs that I've ever seen. The venom is not terribly medically significant. It's pretty similar to a G. rosea, but these spiders are really not handleable at all. Not at all aggressive, but they are extremely fast, and this is why it gave me the most trouble when I tried to rehouse this one. But luckily it's all safe and sound in this 2-liter shoebox with some ventilation, and it's great. Now these two here, this one here is a Sericosmus Perez Malesi. Making a phantom egg sac, it looks like. I did not mate this one. I got this one last year from Tarantula, Canada as a 1/2 inch spiderling. It's approximately around 1.5 inches. These actually are one of the larger growing ones. They can reach at least a 2-inch leg span. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll have to remove the egg sac to see if I actually get babies, but not because I didn't mate this one. And this is my most controversial Brachypalma. It's Fantasia, which is a Vagans verdesi hybrid. Certainly gone a lot more skittish than I used to, seeing her. Sometimes I handle her, sometimes I don't. So let's go have a look at her. Like, she's extremely fat. Like the verdesi, it's starting to get the black triangle near the eyes, just like the B. amelia. And it's got a big red abdomen, just like your B. vagans. Loves these superworms. Alright, here is Gargantuan Gretel, my biggest T next to Hans. This is the mature female Theraphosis, the Burgundy Goliath bird eater. It's not a true T blondie, since it does not have the hairs on the patella, which are the knees. So she was a 6-inch female back 3 years ago, and look at the size of her now. She's probably around 9.5 inches, maybe even close to 10. Yeah, she's certainly a big hair kicker, and she can be very defensive if she wants to be. Usually she's not, but other times she will tell me to just leave me alone. Yeah, but she's pretty cool though. Definitely one of my classic ones. Alright, so here are 3 slings that used to be half an inch. This one used to be, this is 2 years old. These 2 are a year old. Alright, so start with the year-old specimens. These are Brachypalma auratum, the Mexican flame knee. This one used to be called Nina. I'm going to have to change it to Leon because he's a male. And this is Claire, the female. You can be able to see how big of a difference they look. Female is vibrantly colored. Male is not so much. But then again, he might also be in pre-molt. So, Bioratums are generally like your Bomi and your classy. They can be pretty nervous, not as docile as the Emilia, Abopulosum, and the Smithy. Okay, we'll close these up. And this one here, also have to change the name. It was formerly Bloom. This is the Gramisola rosea red form. This is going to be Lois's future boyfriend. He's 2 years old, and he's pretty mean, just like her. So unfortunately, I'm going to lose a lot of lighting here because I really don't want to take these out and disturb them. Alright, so in this 10-gallon tank, flipped on its side, houses my 7.5-inch female Poecilotheria regalis, the Indian ornamental, Pandora, whom you all come to know and love. Got her around 4 years ago. She was around 2 inches, and now she's like, yeah, she's 7 inches. She's pretty cool. Gonna breed her very soon with Codark 2's male, but not if I tried Zelda first. This one here is Trinity. She's an Avicularia versicolor female that I got from Shanrock 777. I kept the same name according to her wishes. There she is. She's the green carapace form, not the turquoise form that the late Tetra was. That was the previous versicolor I got. I got her in 2009, I believe. Yeah, and she's pretty mean. Alrighty, and lastly, in this enclosure here, is the big old P. regalis that I transferred not too long ago. That's Zelda. There she be. You can see the prominent clear band on the abdomen. Absolutely humongous. Now we'll see what's inside these pill jars. Alright, so these are the 10 species that I got from the expo last month. Alright, these I got from Jesse, the 5P Camergy slings. So let's have a look at all of them, see how well they're all doing. There's one over there. Number 2 is hanging below. Three's hiding. 4 is right over there. And numero 5. Kind of active. They like to burrow as slings, so I tend to keep them with a little bit more substrate than normal. So that's all the 5P Camera G slings. And these are the other 5 that I got from the expo. So, this is the Brachypalma verdesi, the Mexican rose gray that I got for $20. About 1.5 inches. She's exactly like my B. vagans Sling. She attacks very fast and she's pretty defensive for a brachy. Although it might actually change as she gets older. We'll see. This one here is a Thrixopalma sinulum, the cobalt red rump. It's very hard to see, so just bear with me. Yeah, she's a little half-incher. She's probably going to be like Brachypalma awkwardity, not very aggressive, but certainly a great hair flicker. There's that one. Lampripalma valiciopes, the Singapore violet that I got from TC, which was a special gift from Mademoiselle 1. Can't thank her enough for sending me a gift certificate. That was just extremely nice of her. Just half an inch. There's that lovely, yet potentially dangerous tea that I own. It's a Arachnotour calceatum, the feather-leg baboon. It sucks that I had a 4.5-inch female that underwent a bad molt and died. This one's actually has lost one leg. On the right side, you can tell that leg 2 is missing. But other than that, it's a healthy specimen. Not aggressive yet, but oh boy, it will be. And there's that P. fasciata, the Sri Lankan ornamental. Hopefully presumed female. Alright, a couple of more slings. This one here is in the Phobopus rufescens, the burgundy skeleton tea. Renee, she is a 2.5-inch, well now suspect male, because I look at the ventral shot, but I have to confirm by its molt. Very fast and will be very defensive once it ages. This one here is no exception. This is a Syrgopacus shoidi, the Malaysian earth tiger. Adrian, she's over here. I got these two last year, and this one this year, which is a Teocraty, the Peru flame rump. It has only molted once, and it's approximately about an inch right now. Next molt is going to go out of a pill jar and into a deli container. More of this year's purchases included a Tapnicinius eleni, the Ecuadorian red tree spider that I got from Mac and Cass. Down below, his name is Mackenzie. Suspect male. This one here is the pièce de résistance, one of the rarest pokies that I own. If my camera can focus correctly, Poecilotheria hanumavila simica, the Ramesh worm ornamental. Her name is Zafina, and she is right over there. Nice tea. So far, skittishness, not too much aggressive, but and again, it's still pretty young to find out. They basically look like P. fasciata, as I explained in my Mythbuster video regarding pokies, except the only difference is that the leg pattern 4 has a slightly different pattern than the fasciata, but we'll see that when this specimen grows up to be hopefully a lovely girl. Alrighty, if you can see what she looks like, that's Salem, my Poecilotheria famosa, Salem ornamental. Not terribly defensive or skittish. She's around a 6.5-inch female. Oh, that leg is just in a molt there. I have to remove. Now this one, the P. ornata, the fringed ornamental. Man, I swear this tarantula has issues. It's so nervous. As soon as I opened up the cage, she came running around underneath the bed, underneath this way, and in back of the chalkboard. So it took me a while to find out where she was, and that's her. So I'm going to open up the cage, let her inside, and let her crawl in by herself. But that's what she looks like. If you didn't get a good video of her yesterday, well, that's her. Alright, so another one here is an Orthoctonus orotobalius, Thailand fringe. Mature female, 4 inches. Pretty mean. I did get her last year in October at the expo when I got that Halloween crab. May he rest in peace. And this one here, my lovely female Monosyntropus lambertoni, the Madagascar Lamberton's tea. Very rare in the hobby. It's a 5-inch female, same temperament as that orotobalius. Very defensive. So that concludes part 2, and wait for part 3.